Welcome to Fill My Cup. Um, as always, I ask that you go to the Lord about any word that you may hear on YouTube or anywhere else, just to pray and get confirmation that that word is for you in the name of Jesus. So I heard 8:3, and he took me to Deuteronomy, which reads, "Yes, he humbled you by letting you go hungry and then feeding you with manna, a food previously unknown to you and your ancestors. He did it to teach you that people do not live by bread alone, rather, we live by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord." Okay. And then this took me over to Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 28. It reads, "The Lord heard the request you made to me, and he said, I have heard what the people said to you, and they are right. Oh, that they will always have hearts like this, that they might fear me and obey all my commands. If they did, they and their descendants would prosper forever. Go and tell them to return to their tents. But you stand here with me, so I can give you all my commands, decrees, and regulations. You must teach them to the people so they can obey them in the land that I am giving them as their possession." Which took me down to Deuteronomy chapter 6. It says, "These are the commands and the decrees and regulations that the Lord your God command me to teach you. You must obey them in the land that you are about to enter and occupy. And your children and grandchildren must fear the Lord your God as long as you live. If you obey all his decrees and commands, you will enjoy a long life. Listen closely, Israel, and be careful to obey. Then all will go well with you, and you will have many children in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you." It says, "Listen, O Israel, the Lord is our God and Lord alone. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all yourself wholeheartedly to these commands that I am giving you today. Repeat them again and again to your children. Talk about them when you are at home, when you are on the road, when you are going to bed, when you are getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminders. Write them on the doorsteps of your house and on your gates. The Lord your God will soon bring you into a land he swore to give you when he made a vow to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It is a land with large, prosperous cities that you did not build. The houses will be richly stocked with goods you did not produce. You will draw up water from cisterns you did not dig, and you will eat from vineyards and olive trees you did not plant. When you have eaten and you filled in your field in this land, be careful not to forget the Lord who rescued you from slavery in the land of Egypt." That's the first command. Don't forget. You must fear the Lord your God and serve him. That's the second command. When you take oath, you must use only his name. Okay? Keep your vows to him. That's the third command. You must not worship any of the gods of your neighbors or any other nations, for the Lord your God who lives among you is a jealous God. That's the fourth command. Okay, it says you must diligently obey the commands of the Lord your God and all the laws and decrees he has given you. That's the fifth command. Do what is right and good is in the Lord's sight, so all will go well with you. Then you will enter and occupy the good land that the Lord swore to give you and your ancestors. You will drive out all of the enemies living in the land, just as the Lord said you would. In the future, your children will ask you, what is the meaning of these laws, decrees, and regulations that the Lord our God has commanded us to obey? Then you must tell them, we are Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt, but the Lord brought us out of Egypt with his strong hand. The Lord did miraculous signs and wonders before our eyes, dealing terrifying blows against Egypt and Pharaoh and all his people. He brought us out of Egypt so he could give us the land he had sworn to our ancestors. Okay. And the Lord our God commanded us to obey all these decrees and to fear him so he can continue to bless us and preserve our lives as he has done to this day. For we will be counted as righteous when we obey all the commands the Lord our God has given us. Okay, then that takes me down to Deuteronomy chapter 7. When the Lord your God hands these nations over to you and you conquer them, you must completely destroy them and make no treaties with them. Show them no mercy. For you are a holy people who belong to the Lord your God. All of the people on the earth, the Lord your God has chosen you to be his own special treasure. The Lord did not set his heart on you and choose you because you were more numerous than other nations, for you were the smallest of all nations. Whether it was simply that the Lord loves you and he was keeping his oath he had sworn to his ancestors. That is why the Lord rescued you with such a strong hand from your slavery, from the oppressive hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Understand, therefore, that the Lord your God is indeed God. He is the faithful God who keeps his covenant for 1,000 generations and lavishes his unfailing love on those who love him and obey his commands. But he does not hesitate to punish and destroy those who reject him. Therefore, you must obey all these commands, decrees, regulations that I'm giving you today. If you listen to these regulations and faithfully obey them, the Lord your God will keep his covenant and his unfailing love with you, as he promised with an oath of your ancestors. He will love you and bless you, and he will give you many children. He will give you fertility to your land and your animals. When you arrive in the land he swore to give you by your ancestors, you will have large harvests of grain, new wine, olive oil, and great herds of cattle, sheep, and goats. You will be blessed above all nations on the earth. None of your men or women will be childless, and your livestock will bear young, and the Lord will protect you from all sickness. He will not let you suffer from the terrible diseases you knew in Egypt, but he will inflict them on all your enemies. You must destroy all the nations the Lord your God hands over to you. Show them no mercy and do not worship their gods, or they will trap you. Perhaps you would think to yourselves, how can we ever conquer these nations that are so much more powerful than we are? But don't be afraid of them. Just remember what the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all the land of Egypt. Remember the great terrors the Lord your God sent against them. You saw it with all your own eyes. You remember the miraculous signs and wonders in the strong hand and powerful arm with which he brought you out of Egypt. The Lord your God will use this same power against the people you will fear, and then the Lord your God will send terror to drive out the few survivors still standing from you. So again, I heard Deuteronomy, and that was chapter 8, verse 3. And then on from chapter 8 to verse 9, I think you guys should meditate on and read over yourselves. And in closing, I go to Deuteronomy chapter